Technical queen.
Technical queen.
Technical queen.
Okay. Go.
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 Go. Go.
We just sound like minions. All right then. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Bikini. It's episode number 3, and obviously it's been about 10 years since we filmed the last one or recorded the last one, so apologies there. Life got in the way. End of season from last year happened, and obviously New Year's and Christmas. Got fat. I'm now not a bodybuilder. I'm a professional sumo wrestler, because you can't see me, so you don't know how fat I am. That's something else that we're going to be working on, is getting some cameras involved with this situation. Just because it's nice to have a visual and not just listen to our beautiful voices.
But our ugly mugs instead.
A bit of both. So I'm sure you've heard about what's happened, my reasoning behind cutting the season short last year, and all that good stuff on the WPD podcast, which obviously we're still in association with, but it's just me and Romana Scottson doing it now, just because obviously Deb's parted way with us. There's no hate, no nothing. It's just something that happened, and she wanted to focus on her own stuff, which is absolutely fine. You've got to sometimes cut some ties to develop your own self, which is absolutely fine. We still love her the way she is, so she's just gonna do her own thing for a little bit. But it'll be me and Romana heading up the WPD podcast, and obviously me and my other half, Alita, doing Behind the Bikini. Obviously this one's a little bit more about me and what we do together, me and Alita, throughout like the bodybuilding season, what she does as a coach, that kind of thing. But we can obviously summarise a little bit about what happened last year on a more personal level, and then obviously just what my plans are this year going into the new season. Obviously I have mentioned it again on the other podcast, but we'll go into it a little bit more in depth on this one. What do you think, Norm?
Sounds a plan, my man.
I'm sorry if you keep hearing me breathing. I'm just very out of breath all the time at the moment.
I'm just heavy.
I'm just heavy. So I hit an all-time heaviest weight to this morning. So I'm now 82.3 kilos, which fuck knows what that is in pounds. Heavy. I just stand on the scale and it just says fat.
I'm just heavy.
But yeah, and for reference, I'm 5'4", which if you stand next to a tape measure, it just says small.
You keep cracking out the jokes.
Oh god, I'm so funny. It's this coffee, I tell you. It's got
around the world
jokes
coffee.
in it. Huh?
Around the world coffee.
Exactly. And yeah, like last year we got to 80 kilos, but I was a little bit of a melted candle, or it resembled somewhat of a mental candle. Blah, blah, blah. But this year, obviously, we've had a little bit of a different approach. There are a few variables in my life that I don't have around anymore. So, for example, I'm now a full-time bodybuilder, luckily going into full-time coaching, which is something that I never thought I would do. But now I'm in the position, very, very grateful, very lucky to be in this position to be able to be a full-time bodybuilder and stuff like that. So I'm not expending as much as I was previously. I'm able to rest and recover, which I think was what I was missing mainly from last season, was being able to rest and recover, because in my previous job, my expenditure was very high. I was doing about 140,000 steps over 5 days and lifting lots of cheese, lots of meat, that kind of stuff. Which we'll discuss later on in the podcast, just because someone asked about what I previously did, so we'll come back around to that later. But I think rest and recovery has made a huge difference to me, and sometimes it's like, oh, but your expenditure is lower, but your composition is better, and I do primarily put that down to more rest and recovery, less stress on the body. Obviously stress is a major thing. It affects lots of things in our body, physically, psychologically, physiologically. Stress can have a big impact on what we do. So the reduction in stress has made me become a better athlete, I think. But that's one of the major differences in this off season. Obviously we also changed our compounds in our cycles. So my cycle was primarily MPP last year, which did bloat me out a little bit. I tend to hold a lot of water on MPP, whereas this time around we've utilized Primo and Anabar, and I'm just getting on a lot better with Primo. Had a bit of a nasty reaction to MPP in my prep. Obviously it's part of the NOR19 family, so it can really take its toll psychologically on you, and it did last year. Obviously we have spoken about that in a previous podcast, so be sure to check that one out. I'm sure it's in either episode 1 or 2. I can't remember. Probably episode 2 actually, wouldn't it, Leeds?
Or just watch them all.
Or just watch them all. Like, subscribe and all that shit. And yeah, so we said, me and Tom basically said never to use that again, because it was quite scary and the impact it had on my mental health. So we're primarily going down the route of fem test, so very low load test, Anavar and Primo for this cycle. I'll stay on HRT when I come off Primo and Anavar, but for the time being, that's what I'm on. It's made a massive difference. Strength has been brilliant, pubs have been unbelievable, and this off season has been very successful so far. So yeah, we just continue on. I think I've got one more week left off this cycle, then a bit of a 2 to 3 week clean out, and then 12 weeks before we start prep, so we'll just go into another growth phase. My feedback from Legions, obviously I placed second. I can't thank the IFBB enough and Chris for running such a good show. We met some amazing people, didn't we, Norm?
They were absolutely so nice. Did not think that they would be that nice.
Yeah, it was mad. Because obviously there was like 21 other women, sorry, who were just these amazing, seasoned women. So we met a lady called Mary Power. Shout out to Mazza. And essentially, like, I don't know whether, well, there are people that have obviously been backstage at shows and stuff, but you essentially go backstage, claim an area, and just stay there.
Congregate it for like 9 hours.
Yeah, and you just, I mean, there was someone who brought a fucking airbed. Like,
absolute respect for that.
I mean, I would 100% do that if I knew there was space, and there was space at Pro Legions. But we just commandeered this space at the corner by the tanning, and this lovely lady called Mary Power, who just came up to us and then just commandeered the section next to us, and we just had the most amazing conversations. She was obviously one of the first people we kind of spoke to. And she was this amazing lady who's so seasoned in bodybuilding. She's 51 years young, and honestly, she was just the most amazing person, wasn't she?
She was so nice, and any questions that you asked her, she was more than happy to help, guide you in whatever way. Like, just massive respect amongst them all, because you get some divisions where they're absolute bitches, but not WPD by the looks of it.
Yeah, like, I think, because you all know, like, I'm not saying other categories that don't suffer, like, we all have our own, like, things to get over, but I think in WPD, because it's an older generation of women, there's more respect. Like, you don't have the young bitchiness that you can see in some categories. Like, I'm not naming names or pointing fingers, but obviously, like, there's more bitchiness in other categories than some, and I think, like I said, WPD is I mean, the average age of that was probably what,
40 44.
Yeah, 44. And you're just all there to like push each other, be with each other. Like, if you ever have any issues or needed anything, then all the women were just like, oh, I have this, help this, let me help you. And Mary had another fucking suit that she lent to someone because she lost her bikini. Like, that's how much these women team up together, and you don't tend to see that in England or in other categories. Personally, I don't think. And it's crazy because a lot of the girls asked why I came over to the States. And I was like, well, I think to make a name for yourself, you need to start big. You need to be a small fish in a very big pond, which you always are as a new pro anyway.
Thing is, you're just making more of a statement.
Yeah, I think so. Especially
when there's more bigger names, bigger views, bigger eyes over there compared to Europe, where all the best people seem to be the Americans. So better shape up against them.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, I think, you know, like I said, they asked why I went over there, and then I said to them about the UK and it not really having a scene for WPD or bigger girls, and they just seem so starstruck. And it's kind of like, you know, that's just the way it is. This is why we're doing what we're doing, to promote this amazing category. But, you know, small steps will make a big difference in the end. But the girls in the States just couldn't get over how much of a small category it is over here. And like Norm said, I think in order to make a massive impact, you need to go over to the States. And, you know, I'm very proud to represent the UK, very proud to be part of the WPD community. But in order to make that massive difference, you need to be in the States. I mean, I had, you know, a few of the judges from the Olympia watch me. I had commentators who were Olympians commentating on me and stuff like that. So it's a brilliant chance to just be looked at by the right people.
100%.
You know,
Cracking.
So yeah, so obviously that happened. Placed second. I thought I'd be happier with that placing, but I came off pre-judging thinking that, you know, me and Tom went with the idea that we wouldn't really even place. We just kind of going and see what it's all about, see how I place with these ladies, like, without the idea that I would come away top 2, which, don't get me wrong, is amazing. But when we finished pre-judging, I think I turned to you and was like, fucking hell, I think I might have this.
I think it's just because you actually saw what you were like, because you were so self-conscious and paranoid of what they were like. Am I going to stack up next to them? Am I too small? When actually they're about the same, probably just a bit wider in the hips because they're older women, when you're more of the X frame to actually stand out more.
But yeah, and I think because I came so close, it actually, instead of impacting me in a positive way, it impacted me in quite a harsh whisper then in quite a negative way, which anyone that knows me knows that I love this sport and I do everything to be a part of this sport. And when I came away with second, it just wasn't good enough, because I think I tasted a little bit of what it was to be so close to a dream. Do you know what I mean? I
think it's just more of, you got into the mindset of, I'm not going to do well, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. When actually, when you did size yourself up and you saw what happened, your mindset completely flipped, and you gone, what's the word? Oh my God. you kind of gone, oh shit, I can actually do this. And then you went from, oh, I don't know where I'm going to go, to, oh shit, I'm actually going to win this.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. It was a very big flip. And backstage, this sounds so big-headed, but people were already congratulating me on winning, and the guy that re-tanned me, and when I say guy, by the way, I was suited, he just had to touch my tan up. I wasn't naked. Jesus, imagine getting tan with a guy. What's that?
Keep boobies out. Get
your boobs out. He said I had one of the best back doubles that he'd seen in 25 years of being in the industry, which is mad. But obviously, I wasn't what the judges wanted to win that day, which is absolutely fine. Yvonne, the lady that beat me, was an outstanding athlete.
She was awesome.
She was awesome, very humble. She obviously went to the Olympia, placed 12th, which is amazing for her first year. I think it's the first time she's been to the Olympia, I'm almost sure. But they just wanted a little bit more from me in regards to my X-frame. Obviously, a lot of the ladies there did have bigger waists. They were less shapy. And in my opinion, I'm not a mass monster, but I'm very shapely, and I do think that's the way that WPD is going. Is going to be less about mass and more about shape, especially as Natalia won the Olympia this year. And Natalia, don't get me wrong, is dense as fuck, but she's way more shapely than a couple of the other ladies.
You sure she's dense as fuck? You kind of look at her compared to other girls, and her shape just looks better. She's not that dense.
I mean, you could argue that
massive boobs that completely everyone has massive boobs. Throws it off the top.
But, yeah, I mean, you could argue that does her shape make her look like she's very muscled?
Yeah, but then that's like you. Like your shape makes you look pretty wide in the lats and up, which is why probably the judges wanted more legs than anything. Yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, my feedback from Sandy was dense from the rear. I need more density in the rear, which my back, my glutes, my hamstrings have been a massive part of my off season for the last, I don't even want to know, 3-4 years. Too long.
But then it shows. It shows how much your back has come along. You get pictures of your PCA compared to you now. You scrawny little thing compared to somebody who's actually got shape and pro level.
Yeah. So, I think it was, going back to the feedback, it was just hamstring, glutes, density from the back, which has been a major part of my off season again this year. Obviously, it's been my feedback pretty much for the last 3 years. Since 2018, it's always been density from the rear. So it's been a massive part of my training and everything like that. So we've been doing a lot of back focused, glute focused, hamstring focused stuff again this year. So a lot of rowing, in my opinion, brings a density back, brings a different density to the back. I don't deadlift because I don't get on with it. Some people will be shocked by that, but I just don't deadlift.
Oh my God, because gyms doesn't deadlift. Oh shit, do you even gym?
I do. Do you even
shout out to Conor McMillan?
My big bald bay.
All of his little reg pup.
Little Reggie. So that's been a massive part of my training at the moment. Lots of heavy compound work. I did personally think that a big part of my feedback was going to be quad sweep from the rear. because Yvonne had this amazing small waist, big flare from her quads, and a wide back. So obviously you're creating that X frame that they look for in WPD, but it wasn't. So despite it not being seen by the Sandy or the judges, I've been doing a lot of work on like quad sweep stuff and just bringing up my quads essentially. I think it's also a massive part of my posing. I think because when I pose I'm very narrow, I think I need to just be slightly wider, but that's something that comes with practice.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and obviously I was very lucky to work with Leisha from Gah Gym on my posing last year, and she just put me through the rounds, and I can't thank her enough for getting my individual presentation bang on and finding all my strengths over my weaknesses and stuff like that. So, and at the end of the day, that's what posing is. It's hiding your weaknesses and covering them up with the strengths. Exactly. It's just all an illusion. But yeah, so it's just been, we've been in off season, I don't even know how long now. I can't even remember when Legions was. October?
October. So you've been off season, what, late October?
Yeah, it must be.
So 2 + 1 is 3. Yeah.
You're so smart.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so 3 months. And I think we've made a lot of good progress, considering I'm in a pretty decent shape at 82.5 kilos.
Still got some quad lines.
Yeah, still got quad lines. So it's going to be very exciting to prep this year. It's going to be a very different prep. But I think it's, after last year and the issues that happened, I think going into this prep is going to be a whole different gravy. So it's going to be very exciting. Regarding kind of like shows and stuff, so I'll be doing the Texas Pro Show on August the 19th, which is be really fun. That was obviously Sarah's show last year. She donated 15 grand to the winner, which was amazing. So 15 grand out of her pocket. It's the best paid show for WPD, I believe. I haven't heard any different.
Either way, it's still quite a big show, which has got a name attached to it, and lots of good people. Yeah,
for sure. So that's going to be my first show. I hope to qualify there, but you never know. Just go in with an open mind. And then from there, we'll go to Alicante. I don't actually know the name of that show. I think it's Mr. Big. No, I don't know. It's a show.
I don't know.
No. But it's in Alicante. And then if things don't go our way in Alicante, we'll probably do...
If things go really tits up.
Yeah, if things go like nipples up.
Boing.
Yeah, we'll do Romania, which will hopefully qualify us for Olympia 24. But with bodybuilding, you never know who's going to turn up on the day. You just got to go. And as long as I make the improvements that I need to make this year, I'll be a happy chap. So
everything's a learning curve at the end of the day. If you don't learn, then what's the point in doing it? Just piss off.
Exactly. Bodybuilding is bodybuilding. It's trial and error. And if what works. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then just don't do it, essentially. Same with any sport, I guess.
Yeah, happy days.
Woo. But obviously last year was a bit of a funny one. We had a lot of issues with some bunk gear. Obviously I'm not going to name names or name labs because I'm not here to out anyone, but we did have a few issues with that sort of going forward, which kind of pushed us back a good few weeks. And there was just a bit of a lack of communication which happened. Me and Tom spoke about that. We had a little chat, and everything's all good. But these things happen. I'm a very firm believer that things happen for a reason, and it's only created a stronger bond between me and Tom, and my love for bodybuilding really has expanded from what I experienced last year. And I know I'm saying like, oh, I've experienced everything, oh my god, but it was like the worst prep in the world. And I'm not someone that's going to say I hate prep. It's hard, don't get me wrong, and you get the days where you're like, I'm tired, but I absolutely love pushing myself. And the way that we had that prep happen last year, it's we've learnt lots. I know how far I can take myself mentally, and I think going into this prep, I know it's going to be so much better because we made those mistakes that we needed to make. But yeah, so for example, we did 12 weeks last time, we do 16 this time, just because I know I don't want to rush. I hated the aspect that we had to rush last year. We did think it wouldn't be a rush, but it was. And it really was like just shit. So we're not doing that again. And obviously I don't have the expenditure like I had last year with work. So I can really just give this everything I need to. And I think under stress, my physique does crumble. So going into this year, we won't have that stress. I'll be able to rest, recover, do whatever, be wherever without the stress of an outside job. Obviously I'm a full-time coach now, which is a dream. I absolutely love coaching people, see people doing well. So yeah, I think it's going to be a very good year. Just control everything I can control, get treatment, train, eat, do whatever
Eat,
Tom
sleep,
tells me.
bodybuild, repeat.
Exactly, which is what I need to do. A lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't just give up your job. It's, you know, you should still have a job outside of this if you're not a coach. But personally, for me, in order to level up my physique, in order to level up my dedication to this sport, I need to be a full-time bodybuilder. So that's exactly what I've done. And I'm very, what's the word?
Grateful.
Grateful to be in this position. You know, exactly, Alita. But yes, exciting times. I've also managed to pick up a few people to join the Sarah Evolution side of things in regards to sponsorships, which is quite cool. So
Leveling
up. So I've jumped on board with Alpha Neon. A little plug, Sarah 10, for any of their fabulous products.
Their sleep aid is so good. Oh my god, it is good.
Yeah, it is good. Adrian, who owns Alpha Neon, he's someone that we've known for a good few years now. He has a gym in Max Body's Cirencester, and he's just an absolutely sound guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
his
we've
Irish
known him.
accent is amazing. It's so hilarious.
Yeah, he's a legend. We've known him for 4 or 5 years now.
I think it's 4.
Yeah, it must be.
What, just before COVID?
Yeah, because obviously he had the shop in Gloucester, didn't he?
Yeah.
And we used to chill in there and speak to him and buy his stuff, and we've been chatting. We're chatting for ages. And even before he signed me, I used his products and stuff. Obviously, as a sponsored athlete, I think it's very important that you do believe in the product that you're promoting. I know there are a few people out there that join companies just for the sake of joining a company, which is wrong. But Adrian has got a good head on him. He's created some amazing products. His sleep aid, like Leets just mentioned, absolutely saved our ass when we came back from the States. Obviously, I was post-show. We both jet lagged to fuck. Leets had to go back to work. It was just, one of our main aims was to get obviously our regular sleep pattern back. And using that sleep aid was just a fucking godsend, wasn't it?
So good.
Yeah, it was so good. And I've given it to my clients, and I've got 2 or 3 testimonials from those clients saying how fucking good this product is. So if you're looking to buy anything from Alpha and you want to like just level up your recovery, because obviously sleep is like a massive component of everything. If your sleep is fucked, then physical energy, mental focus, yeah, essentially everything is fucked. So if you're looking to start on a product and start on improving something, start on improving your sleep, and then use a sleep product, because it's unbelievable. It's called Neon Dreams, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking great. But yeah, very, very honoured to be representing a brand that resonates with who I am as a person. Something that I do when a brand approaches me is, if they ask me to do something that doesn't represent me as a person, then they can fuck off. Yeah, so like for me, if someone approached me and was like, I need you to be in a crop top and booty shorts, then I'm not going to do it, because it's not me.
I like your bum. Booty shorts.
Oh god, I look like a beached whale in booty shorts. Funny. I look fucking awful, mate.
It's that picture that you got of the other one that I made you wear.
What's that?
You know, the one you got sent, the purple one.
I just look like a fucking mug. Even Tom was like, I can't even imagine you in a crop top and booty shorts.
It's so funny.
I just look ridiculous.
Hey ho.
You know. But yeah, and Adrian's just like, be whoever the fuck you want to be, as long as you're, you know, loyal and you're not lying and you're not promoting something in a negative way, then you do you, babe. And that's what I've been doing.
Oh,
so
you're a good egg, aren't you? You're a good egg, aren't you?
I'm a great egg. You know, I'm one of those eggs that if you cut and the yolk is still like runny, that's me.
You're not one of those split ones that get really annoying. You're like, fuck!
In the pan, you're like, oh! Why? So yeah, and obviously I'm still with 1MR. So absolutely love 1MR. I hope to take them on the long road to the Olympia. Same with Alpha Neon. I hope to take him all the way. And then obviously I've now got a lovely bikini sponsor, which was one of the main aims for this year, was to try and get...
a nice bikini, wasn't it? That was a nice bikini, wasn't it?
It was a lovely bikini. Fit like a glove, that did.
Like a glove.
Yeah. Yeah, and the last thing you need is nip slip on stage.
Even your posing bikini is still holding up, even with you being this...
I know. It's just about holding, though. Bit of side boob.
Nearly had a side boob shot on your check-in.
Yeah, and that's Time to Shine. And she's a lovely lady. Honestly, it was one of the best fitting bikinis that I've used.
And you used too.
3.
Is it 3? Oh shit, yeah.
3, yep. And even the backstage staff said how well it fit. Because gluing the stuff down, it hardly needed gluing because it just sat in place. And obviously every woman knows that the more you diet, the less boob you have. And I was basically nipples at that time.
Mosquito bites.
Yeah. So, and even because I had no chest, like, it still fit really well. Whereas you can get obviously some bikinis that just don't
slip and slide.
Yeah, that's it. So that was awesome. But yeah, taking all these companies and stuff to the Olympia, hopefully this year, maybe next year.
Let's just go and smash it, okay?
Exactly.
Aim for the
faux show. But yes, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Alright, should we crack on with the questions?
Do you want to crack on with questions?
Well, you got on your phone, God. Or clicky ankles.
But let's speak about you for a bit.
No.
Leeds now coaches for Bristol City. How sick is that?
It's not Bristol City.
It is Bristol City. It's basically Bristol City.
Shut up. No, it's not.
All the Rovers fans are like, oh.
It's funny, I actually went to football and I said up the gas and one of the girls like, oh my God! She's a huge City fan because I coach one of them and she's like, oh my God, I got the photos and signed on my wall. I was like, up the gas.
I fucking love
it. But hey ho.
Bless her. It's amazing though how influential like you can be to these young ladies.
That's what I want to be,
isn't it?
I want them to grow up and be like, oh, coached by her. Oh my God.
Isn't
it funny that back at uni you were like, oh, coaching, oh, what degree, oh, and now you're a coach and you love it. I love it.
Yeah, because obviously I did sports therapy at university.
Yeah.
How useful was that?
It's fucking shit.
Jokes. I did love sports therapy and I can implement it into my coaching, which I do, but I do wish I'd done like nutrition or something at university.
It's giving you a wide range of knowledge.
That's it, exactly. And I do think, well, university was the fucking best 3 years of my life. Never going to take that away.
Got drunk, ate food, occasionally went to lectures.
Yeah. And obviously I met you. Gay.
Ew.
Oh my God. Right, let's get on with these questions. So I put a question box up, anonymous and non-anonymous. God, try and say that quickly.
Say it.
Non-anonymous.
Say it again 3 times.
Non-anonymous, non-anonymous, non-anonymous. That was actually really, I'm quite impressed with myself.
Go on.
So yeah, and we had a good few responses, to be fair. I'm quite impressed. Whether any of them are on views, I don't know. Normally people tend to ask me if I'm gay or not, which is quite
Are you
weird.
Single?
Oh yeah, that's another good one. Or you're a sexy baby, show me nipples.
Show me big muscles.
Show me muscles. How much money pay for a picture?
How tall are you? That's quite a funny one you always get.
Yeah.
Do not read the caption.
That's so annoying, isn't it? When people are like, what's your plans? I'm like, do you not read Instagram?
Do you just look at pictures? This is why you're a picture book.
God, it's so sassy. Right. We'll start with a lovely question from Kelly because she's an absolute legend. Kelly's amazing. Other than rubber crumb trails, what's both of your worst habits? Right. If you didn't see on my story the other day, this girlfriend of mine obviously trains in a lot of the footballs now on AstroTurf, right? It's not none of your coaching's on grass, is it? There's these rubber pieces that are on this AstroTurf, and she'll come home and obviously take off her clothes and there'll be rubber crumb everywhere.
Isn't it funny because I'll go diving and it'd be actually in my trousers, in my t-shirts, under my thermals.
It's fucking everywhere.
And I strip and it goes everywhere. It's so funny.
And if anyone doesn't know me, I'm a huge clean freak. And you find this fucking rubber fucking ruckin' fubber crumb.
That took a long I'm thinking.
This rubber crumb fucking everywhere. Everywhere.
It's in my football bag.
I fucking know it is. I did see that bag
today as well.
What's that?
You cleaned my boots as well today. Thank you.
Fucking rubber crumb. But yeah, what's both of your worst habits?
Go on.
Yours, I mean that rubber crumb is a fucking rubber crumb. Oh, I don't know.
I think yours is when you get stubborn.
No.
You're such a stubborn little shit.
I am stubborn too.
Especially when I know what I'm right,
Yeah.
and you're adamant that I'm not, and then I prove it, and you're like,
You're always weirdly right in every kind of scenario.
there's always one in every
always
relationship
one.
who's always right.
There is one
It's
that
me.
I'm the problem.
Oh my god.
I was trying to think of one the other day. I did say to you about something the other day, but I can't remember what it was.
No, you're probably just criticising me in general.
Something to do with cleaning, probably.
I'm a organised mess. Hey. I'm not, I'm just a mess. I don't even know what my favourite is. You just get sort of for me.
I am the sorting queen. What I don't understand, and it does upset me a little bit, is how you continuously have cheese sandwiches for lunch. You don't have any variety.
I like a routine, okay? I can't be bothered to buy more. Do you know it's a living crisis right now?
Cheese is not cheap.
Leave us ham! Or chicken! Or salad! Anything! Put into a sandwich.
Put
like
what
protein.
into a sandwich?
That's just anything.
Cheese is expensive, to be fair. You need some more variety in your life.
Oh my god. Living crisis. Jesus.
Mind you, you are quite stubborn as well.
Yeah.
We don't help ourselves, to be honest.
No. Alright, there we go. Both stubborn.
Basically, it's rubber crumb or nothing else.
I actually think I came in and stepped on some.
Oh, you probably did.
It's everywhere.
It's fucking everywhere.
I'll come
You have
back
a sandwich
Tuesday.
with... What's
I'll
that?
come back Tuesday and Wednesday night, and I'll just come in with my boot and go.
I don't look forward to that. If you don't see Elita after Wednesday, you know what happened. So next question is, what was my full-time position that I just left? So I used to work for Asda. It was Walmart at the time I joined, but obviously I think it was either Asda that got
Yeah.
brought out by the brothers, wasn't it? So it wasn't associated with Walmart anymore. But I was essentially just a warehouse worker.
Go on, girl.
Doing and like sending off all the food to the different stores and stuff like that. It was actually a very enjoyable job. I've really worked in warehouses all my life because I love jobs where you tick off a list. Like, I'm very OCD in the fact that if someone gives me a list of something to do, I'll do it. If I don't have a list, then I tend to my mind tends to flow a little bit less. So like I tend to just flurry around instead of get things done. And I'm very good at warehouse work. So, because I'm strong, I'm active, and I just like the list style. And yeah, it was I was there for 3 years. It was a really well paid job. It was 6 a.m. till 2, 4 days a week. And it, worked well. But it was very taxing on my body. And obviously as time went on, there were more disputes with pay and stuff like that. So the niceness of working there kind of diminished over time. Much like anywhere. I'm sure you've got that in your job.
Yeah, managers are just shit.
Put your microphone close to your face.
Hello!
Because people might not be able to hear your beautiful voice. That's what most Bristolians sound like, isn't it?
Shut up.
Oh, you know what?
Oh my
That's what my peeve is.
Scared the shit out of me.
Is when you stay in Bristol. I'm sorry, we'll come back to that question.
Oh my God.
Is when you stay in Bristol or you're around Bristolians, you become instantly more Bristolian.
Well, hey ho. I'm
It's like when you and Hannah Maynard are together. You're like, oh yeah,
come on over, mister. Oh, I know West.
oh the gas. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I did. And obviously before that, I was in university and worked for some rugby clubs, some bits and bobs here and there, massage. I worked for Lucy Spraggan for a while, which was amazing. Not the singer Lucy Spraggan, but Lucy
That would've been
Spraggan, who
fun.
was that?
That would be fun.
That would have been
You
fun.
burst into song all the time.
I do. Do you remember when she was massive?
No.
Do you never listen to Lucy Spraggan?
Yes, I did. I didn't listen to her. I saw an X
Didn't she
Factor.
sing a song called Beer Fear?
Oh no.
Go on. Call yourself a Lucy Spraggan fan.
He sounds a Lucy Spraggan fan.
Yeah, but yeah, and I did a year with Lucy, and that was really good. She was amazing. I love Lucy, and yeah, that's basically it. But like I said, I'm very lucky to be supporting people in their journeys of fitness and lifestyle and getting better. I love seeing people smash it.
Just have more confidence in yourself.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? It's just there's so many coaches are out there, and you've got to really find your niche, isn't it? And I'm sure they're the same with your coaching. You just
Well,
got to
that's
find
it.
the niche.
I'm a female goalkeeper. That's short enough.
Female.
I only know 3 actual goalkeeper coaches in the Southwest, and I only know really properly 3 in England.
It's mad, isn't it? Why do you think that though? Why is there no female goalkeeping coaches? Like, why is that?
I don't know.
Do you just think that women don't want to be goalkeepers?
I think they kind of hit that level and then kind of just move out of it. Plus, like, women's football ain't gone professional like last 10-15 years. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's one I think she's now at Everton, and there's one who's was working for Bristol City and the GFA, who's now in the England setup doing more outfield stuff and education than goalkeeper coaching.
Who is that?
Stacey Miles.
Oh, you ever worked with her?
Not really.
Oh,
I just know of her.
do you think working with the age of like girls that you do you think they're way more influenced by having a female coach than a male coach? Like, do you see, like, if you have a male coach that works alongside you, do you see how these girls react to when he asks them to do something compared to when you ask?
I think it's more down to, I know what a woman's like because I coach a set of boys which have one girl in it, and she'll like gravitate more to me because I know what women's football's like. I've been in women's football since I was 16.
Yeah.
So I know what it's like. I know, like, if when your knees start hurting, it's because your hips are sore, or like you're more injury prone when you're on your period, and it's just a lot easier to talk to.
Yeah.
Like the group of girls I've just started with, who are starting to open up a little bit, but they talk easier to me because we had a proper little chin wag, which was so funny.
Yeah.
Recently, compared to the coach who trains and coaches for Bristol City.
Yeah.
Because I can actually talk to them as a woman and a woman who knows the game. Like, I told one to stop putting her knees inwards because if not, you can have old lady knees like me. And she's like, and then cracked on, and she didn't do it again.
Yeah.
Just because you got to have a joke and laugh, and they know what it's like.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you could argue, I guess, like, I know, like, football can be a bit, like, I don't know, it can be a bit cutthroat at times, but, like, do you think it's the way that male coaches, this isn't a shitting on male coaches, by the way, it's just a good discussion point. Do you think the way that male coaches, like, carry themselves, body language, and the way they say stuff?
I think it's because they've worked more on men's boys football, because, like, the girl who's in the boys group, like, because I've played with boys, I know, and I can keep up with boys. But as she's joined the boys setup, which because it's faster, it's stronger, it comes at you with a whip. She's like, ah, shit. But now, because I can talk to her through it, and I'm like, you need to watch this and this. Like, if this is done, then we've got this moving. But when she's just joined this new women's team, because it's slower and it's easier, she's one of the standout players looking to be first team football next year.
Yeah.
Compared to being absolutely dreadful with the boys.
Yeah.
But that's just because the male coach knows how to communicate to the male, but as soon as it comes to the girl, if she has a problem, she'll come to me.
Yeah.
Because he'll just go, well, not in the exact words, but it's more kind of like, just get on with it.
Yeah.
When she actually physically can't.
Yeah, well, we've seen it. Well, in the time that we've been together, I've followed you with your coaching in numerous clubs that you've been working with, and we've seen that numerous times where a male coach has just been like, get the fuck up and get on with it, when really there's a little bit more underlying with a few of the girls' mentality. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just get on with it. It's actually understanding the deeper value of what she's trying to say. It's the same with, I think, coaches in general. Is you've got to understand where the athlete's coming from. It's all well and good being like, get the fuck on with it, but you need to be like, right, okay, so what's the cause of why you're feeling this way?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, again, this isn't me shitting on male coaches at all, but, like, I think a lot of men don't really like to talk about emotion to some extent.
It's like the studies that show that men find it easier talking to women because of the mother figure.
Yeah. I mean, when I was working in rugby, it was me and obviously Hannah Maynard, who's one of my best friends from bestest friends. from university, and we worked in Stroud Rugby Club for a couple of years, and they would come to us. And we were, I mean, how old was I in university? 18,
19.
And they would come to us with their issues and things that they just wanted to talk about, because if they went into the changing rooms and told that to their teammates, they'd be like, oh yeah, pussy. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think it is very important to be able to understand your athletes, clients, whatever, on an emotional level in order to connect with them as well, because we've spoken numerous times about athlete-coach relationship, which is very important. As something I've learned from you and your experiences being both athlete and coach, is you need to know what's going on in that athlete's mind in order to be able to progress them further. How far can you push the athlete before they break? Do you know what I mean?
A lot of athletes just appreciate how's you?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, we want to talk?
Yeah.
Like, so many people appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes when like a client will check in or whatever and they've had a real fucking shit week, like a lot of my clients have these intense jobs, like a couple of doctors, and others owns her own account architecture company, and she's got constant deadlines. And you know what, sometimes she's like, look, Sarah, like I missed a couple of sessions this week. You know what, that's absolutely fine, it happens. As long as you know you're aware of what happened, you're controlling the stress that may have been created through that day, it's okay. Next week's a new week, you've got less stress on your plate with work deadlines being done. Let's focus on reducing that stress, getting you back, rest, recovery. Mentally, how are you as a person? Are you still feeling quite stressed? Let's see what we can put in place in order to reduce that stress and just get everything back in line. Because like I said earlier on in the podcast, stress is it can cause massive issues physically, psychologically. So if we can reduce stress, then we can control other variables in the body that, you know, might be affected by that.
Basically, girls and boys, don't stress.
Don't stress. And as a coach, just be a human.
Alright, next question.
I'm sorry, but it's a good discussion point.
I know, but we're on a tangent.
It's very important to go on tangents. This is what I have to do with people.
Next up.
Okay, so biggest red flags in a guy.
Everything.
A guy that doesn't train legs.
Oh
that's
my God,
a massive
so
red
funny.
flag. If your thigh is bigger than your boyfriend's, that's a problem. It's funny, this has been asked to 2 lesbians.
Isn't it funny that the boys who are like really skinny, who are like, oh my God, I got abs. No, you're just skinny. Fuck off. You skinny little twig.
That's like big boobs on a large woman. Do you agree it's the same thing?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
What are the red flags? I mean, I haven't been with a guy in years.
I don't know. They're just annoying.
When was
It's
the
really
last time you were with a guy?
opinionated. Most guys are opinionated. There we go, red flag.
You can't have an opinion. I guess it's someone who tries to... Oh, this goes both ways. But if a guy is trying to change you for someone else, then that's a red flag.
Yeah, I like that one.
If he watches too much porn and tries to make you do stuff in the bedroom that he saw in a porno, that's a red flag.
God, no imagination.
Apparently that's really common. I don't know.
Oh, it's massively common.
Mad.
Right, next up. I like that one.
That was very good. Someone asked, why doesn't my crush like me back?
Well, because you're an idiot.
Yeah, this is anonymous, by the way, so I don't actually know who asked that.
Yeah, where's the context?
But I have no idea. Someone said I love you. That's nice.
Oh, cute. She loves
Single?
you too. Huh?
Are we single? Are you single?
Are you single?
No.
I thought I was. Sorry.
I'm reading out all of these questions, by the way.
Okay.
What's your fave drink? Pepsi Max. All day, every day.
Oh, dude, that's banging.
Pepsi Max is banging.
Banging!
Yeah.
I do like it when you mix orange squash and blackcurrant. That's nice.
That's so childish.
Shut
Childish.
up. Childish.
That's fair. That's fair. Who's your best friend?
My mum.
Oh, that is fucking cute, though. That is cute.
How cute.
Everyone has, like, everyone's mum's their best friend.
It's
Just
my
not
mum and you. Okay, God. What's yours?
Well, I can't say my mum, can I?
Sorry.
Some people be like, fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
As cringe as it is, obviously you.
Oh, God.
But my best friend, I just have like a couple very. Oh, you know what, Sophia?
Oh my God.
I can't believe we missed that.
Oh
Sophia,
my God, I was about to say that. Why did you not?
Sophia is my bestest of bestest friends. You know, we've been through so much fucking shit together. She's got a tattoo of me on her rib, and she's just
In your handwriting.
Was that
In your handwriting.
in my handwriting? And she's just, you know, a dynamite gal.
She's awesome.
She is awesome. How are you today? Is another question. Absolutely fabulous.
I'm good.
I'm good. So we've actually got a serious one. What is your best tip for staying focused?
Go on then.
Your face right now is unbelievable. This is why we need videos.
I'm fidgety and I got tassels on my jumper, which is a one-hour jumper, which is camo.
Yeah, it's actually a great hoodie. So my best tip for staying focused.
Have a plan, be organised. If you know what your plan is and your little steps to conquer it, then you're sorted.
Exactly. She took the words out of my mouth. I've always had a plan. I never don't have a plan. And what is a massive thing in my coaching and in yours, Leets, is probably goal setting. Yeah. So short term, long term. I know it's very old school, smart goal setting. I don't even know if you use that anymore. Oh God, yeah. Jesus.
It's not more goal setting. I do coaching points. What is my outcome? Do I achieve my outcome? That's me.
Yeah.
If I don't achieve my outcome, then was it successful? If not, how can I adapt?
Yeah.
And gain the outcome next time.
Yeah. Basically that. But it is just know exactly what route you're going to take to achieve what you want to achieve. That's kind of like how I would advise you to stay focused. And it's getting into a routine of achieving those daily tasks. Like I say to a lot of people, routine is king when it comes to moving forward, when it comes to progression, because, you know, consistency is key when you want to achieve certain things. In my opinion, when you want to achieve anything, consistency is king as well as routine. And developing those two, develop the routine, the consistency will come, and then it will just happen over time. That's my best sort of advice for staying focused, is to have a plan, establish a routine, and stay consistent.
Also, look after yourself.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Because if you're having struggle focusing, there's clearly something in the background.
Yeah, and then got to come back to the beginning, find out what the source of that issue is, fix the issue, then try again.
Cool. Next one.
There's no... you are so fast.
Sorry.
There's no problem with saying that you're struggling.
If you're struggling, you're admitting that you need help, and help is good because people probably want to help.
Exactly. That's it. Same with mental health. You know, admitting that you have a problem is the first step to being better. Like when I was really ill when I was younger and I cracked and said to my dad, I need help, it was that day where a whole thing had lifted off my shoulders. It made a massive difference. So never stray away from the fact that if you need help, ask for it. And then just establish that routine again, establish that consistency, and go for what you want to achieve. Okay? That's my advice on that one. What's your favourite cheat meal?
A good burger.
You know, I do like a good burger, to be fair.
Oh, Five Guys burgers are so good. Or Beefy Boys.
Beefy Boys is good as well.
I just want to Cheltenham.
I'm excited for that.
It's going to be so good. You're going to live in it.
I'm going to live there.
Burgers. On a burger.
Burgers. Yeah. I think it is burgers, you know. We have had some class burgers. We really have. So that's it. That's that one. How long have you been into bodybuilding? How did you get into the sport?
Alright, tell your life story. During that, I'm going to quickly pee.
Are you actually?
I am. I really need a wee.
Okay,
I'll be back.
That's absolutely fine.
Bye.
See ya. So how long have I been in bodybuilding? I've been into bodybuilding. So obviously I've always been really sporty, always doing some kind of sport from the minute I could run. I was in football, athletics, hockey, netball, anything and everything I would do when I was younger. Obviously when I lost my mum was a bodybuilder. She kind of was what got me into everything. I remember seeing pictures of her with her ex-boyfriend, like I have her belt. My mum had a tiny, ridiculously small waist. Her belt is just probably fit around my thigh. And it was seeing her do what she did, which kind of got me into where I am now. Unfortunately, obviously, she passed away when I was about 10. like it helped me get out of the mental strain that I was in after I lost her. It gave me something to focus on, something to hone into, and I loved seeing the progression that I made through the years. So I was in the gym 11, 12. They had this after school thing where we could go into the gym, because obviously you couldn't enter a gym under the age of 16. They'd do like this after school club where I would go and do a couple hours or whatever I was doing, and then kind of do stuff outside of that. Like I used to play a lot of football, I used to run a lot, but obviously time kind of progressed. I went with a couple coaches, had a few bad incidences with some coaches, and then obviously I found Tom. Gosh, I don't even remember when I saw Tom. I've known Tom for years now. When I met him when my sister was in university, and that must have been like, oh God, I don't even know.
20.
I must have been about 15, 16.
God, it was a while ago.
A long time. Long time.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
back.
I'm back. So yeah, so I then met Tom. We were going to do a natural competition, but I was at university at the time and I was into powerlifting. So I did powerlifting for a couple of years, represented Team GB, did that kind of stuff. That was really fun. But I knew deep down that bodybuilding was my calling because I just responded so much better to the training. So that was kind of the beginning of taking bodybuilding a bit more seriously. Now mental health was a little bit better or in a better place. I kind of just went from powerlifting to bodybuilding. I then started working with Tom full time, so we were sort of up and down during university because I had other things going on. I wanted to enjoy my time at university, so we kind of were chatting, but it never was more than that at the time. And then when I finished university in 2018, that's when we got really serious, me and Tom. And from there, obviously I competed in my first show with PCA, won that one, then won the overall. Then went to the British, placed third, and then obviously had a year and a half out, then did Two Bros La Familia, won that, then went to the British, won that, got my IFBB Pro card, and then obviously Pro debuted last year. So like on a scale of like professionally wise and like taking it a little bit more seriously, bodybuilding on that scale 3-4 years, but bodybuilding in general since I was about 10 and I'm 26 now. And yeah, that's basically how I got into bodybuilding. It is my life, and like as cringe as it as cringe as it is, it did save me in my darkest days and still does, because it's my outlet. It's how I sort of channel all of my emotion and that kind of thing. So bodybuilding is more than just a sport to me. It's a lifestyle. Put that on a t-shirt.
That was a tearjerker, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right, that's my life story. I'm not a very exciting person, to be honest. I just lift weights and put it back down. But yeah, what is the biggest achievement in the sport?
Go on.
Biggest achievement? Definitely getting my pro card.
Yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
But then my pro debut was pretty awesome, to be fair, as well.
But then...
Nah, I think it was the pro card when...
You did cry. What, attempt to cry?
Oh, me and Tom cried for like 10 days. Oh, no, that was La Familia, wasn't it? That was such a good show. Oh, yeah.
And then you attempted to cry, you had no water in you, so you didn't cry.
Same at Legions. I just couldn't cry there. What's your biggest achievement in sport? We're both so coffee.
I actually don't know. I've played a lot of football.
A lot of football, to be fair.
Coached a lot.
It was pretty cool to see you save the winning...
varsity penalty.
Yeah, that was fucking sick.
That was awesome.
Yeah, worldy save that was. So when we were at university, we had a varsity, which was Gloucester versus Worcester.
When Gloucester was good.
When Gloucester was good, yeah, it kind of went downhill after my year left. Your year was like the top for football.
Yeah. That
was fucking sick. But yeah, and it was always, it was one of the biggest events was the women's football. And it got to penalties. And like...
No, it was 0-0. We conceded a penalty. They shot my bottom right. I made the save. We scored the winner in extra time by...
Was that Bing?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Header.
Yeah, that was mad.
Yeah.
I don't even know how she scored that. That was such a tight angle.
Minutes.
What's that?
I was captain for like 5 minutes.
Love it. I was like, oh my god, Alina's captain.
I think my biggest achievement is probably... Actually, I think it's not an achievement, it's just more of like really heartwarming, is when I had the email to do this coaching, and it was like, you were highly recommended. So it's people talking about my coaching and how impactful and how good it is.
Yeah, that's badass. It is sick. Coaching is very much like who you know, and when you're known in such high respects, that's a good start, in my opinion.
Like I don't even know who this guy was, and he just tweets me out the blue that because I knew how many clubs have I coached in the last 5 years?
Oh, I don't even know.
3.
Yeah, it must be.
And then the people within those 3 clubs, which is nuts, has recommended me in some form. But then it might not have even been this club, so it's might be somebody that knows me.
Plot
knows my
twist.
work.
It was your mum.
Thanks, Mum.
My daughter's great. Next question. Are you doing any shows this year? If so, what shows are you doing?
Don't say anything. Listen to WPD podcast. Thank you. Next question.
I already kind of said it in this podcast anyway.
Still.
Should you just rewind or go to WPD? This is fun. Do you drive? If so, what car do you drive?
I will answer this one. A broken car. Thank you. Please fix your car.
She's perfectly perfect.
Penelope's breaking.
Every shape or form. I love my car.
Alright, answer the question.
It's a VW Polo. She's called Penelope.
And it's blue.
And it's blue. You have Cuthbert the Clio.
No, the Renault Clio. Is it dynamic?
I don't actually know what it is, to be fair.
Something like that. But as long as it gets to A and B, I don't actually care.
Exactly.
Four
if you can't
wheels and
tell,
goes.
we're not car people.
4 wheels and goes. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. I love my car. So here's another question. Do you suffer with anxiety about your body before you do a show? Yes, massively. Oh, we said that at the same time.
That was so cute.
I think everyone does. Like, in my opinion, if you're not anxious about something or you're nervous, it doesn't show you care. I mean, yes, there are some people that are horrendously confident and they go into shows super confident, which is fine, but I've never been that kind of person. I will always worry about something, stress about something, be anxious about something. It's just because I put so much pressure on my shoulders as an athlete. I mean, I'm sure, Leets, when you were playing loads of football, you would put that pressure on yourself as well.
Massively.
I think it's just natural.
I'll just get in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Massively get in my head.
Yeah.
But then isn't it funny that the people with the massive confidence who are probably the ones who aren't going to do well and then bitch and complain for weeks on end afterwards?
Yeah. So I do. And if you're the person that asked this question and you suffer as well, hundreds of people are the same.
It shows that you love it. You want to do well.
Exactly. That's it. So I do. And I do speak about it quite a bit on my Instagram. I did, especially last year, because we did have some real dark days. And I think it's very good to speak about it and be open about it, because prep isn't all rainbows and unicorns. It's actually 95% of the time like dirt in there. Like, you just get to see the rainbows and unicorns on stage and stuff like that, and the smiles, because I absolutely love being on stage. But the anxiety becomes quite crippling at points. But if you've got a good solid team around you, you talk to them, you be open with them, then they can help you get through it. And I'm very lucky to have that circle. So if you have those people around you that can help, always be open about how you're feeling. Never feel that you can't speak to anyone, because it won't help the situation and how you're feeling. Okay. I'm very lucky to have Tom and a girlfriend that will be like, stop being a pussy.
You're good. Think about it.
Stop being a dick.
Right, next.
Who do you look up to in the female bodybuilding world? Ooh. It's obviously Dana Lynn Bailey. If you listen to this week's WPD podcast, I go into a lot of depth about Dana Lynn Bailey.
Yeah, you do love her.
Because she's absolutely amazing.
You should tag her after this. Spam her.
Well, actually, I messaged her the other day to ask if she'd come onto the podcast. Whether she'll read the message, I don't know. Was that?
She ignored you.
Probably. She probably gets hundreds of messages.
God, another one.
Yeah. Some bitch. Some lesbian.
Dana Lynn Bailey.
Dana Lynn Bailey. As a young child, who was your...
Hope Solo.
Hope Solo? Really?
Hands down Hope Solo. The greatest goalie in women's football. And then she had that really bad personal problems. But I loved her.
It wasn't drinking, was it?
One of them was drinking.
Oh.
One of them was drinking and driving. Another one was assault. I think 2 were
What a
assault.
great role model.
I know, this is why I'm older and I'm making myself the role model for my goalkeepers. Other than that, David Seaman's very good. Edmund van der Sar. I'm calling out these names, you don't even know half of them.
I do. We saw Edward van der Sar's gloves. Was it his gloves at Old Trafford? See? Yeah, fuck you.
You remember it.
I know this person.
No,
Do you know who Rara Sadley is?
Brara Sadley.
Yeah.
She sounds a bit of a dick.
Fucking asshole. Personality or looks?
Looks.
Oh, well. Dear.
No, I love it. You're cutie.
Thanks. I am a catch.
I like your personality because it's actually bearable.
I think, if you find someone that you gel with and you do work well together, I think just personality, I think if you find someone's personality attractive, then you're pretty much going to find them attractive as a whole.
Wow.
Isn't that deep?
That's so deep.
Yeah.
That's
I think we get on so well because you're like my best friend.
Aww. Yeah, probably.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's pretty awesome when you burst out into song.
Yeah, and you just understand. It's the same with anyone. Like, if you find someone that you gel with and you understand and you work well with and you're a team, then there we go, innit? Works a lot. Works a lot,
you're
mate.
pretty funny.
I am pretty funny.
If you weren't funny, we won't get on.
I just love a joke. Love a joke. What's brown and sticky?
A stick.
A stick. I'm a stickler for those jokes. Right, anyway, that's all of the
joke in work. I told somebody was talking about mooses, and I went, "Yeah, they're mahoosive." Oh, and she was crying.
It's a classic joke.
I'm so funny.
You are funny. So, how do you find a coach who can give decent guidance on females using enhancements?
Ones who don't ask their boyfriends who only coach males.
That's actually a great shout, to be fair. One, I am very open about my... Actually, no, let's go back on that.
You're a woman.
If they're open about their own use, that's a great place to start. I think females who don't talk about their usage and aren't open about it, you could and ah about whether they're good at giving guidance. And I'm not saying that ladies that don't talk about their PD use aren't good on guidance, but I think someone who's open about it is open to educating other people about it as well. So I think have a look through their social media, look at who they are, their social status. If they're kind of up there, very good knowledge, open about PED use, then they're always good to approach for PED guidance. Myself, like, I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm very open about my PED use, and I would like to be up there with someone who can educate a lot of other people, especially women, on their usage of drugs and stuff like that. And again, just look through their social media, see what they've done previously, see what they've spoken about. There's loads of good sites out there as well, educating people on female PED use. I know the Physique Collective have just taken on a PED specialist with sort of on advice with females and PED use and stuff like that. So basically just see what they've done previously, see whether they're open about it, and if they are, then maybe approach them for a little bit of help. But you always need to remember that you should have other variables such as diet, training, recovery all covered before you look at starting PEDs, and have that consistently done over time. PEDs will not change anything. It will just, unless you have those variables covered, utilizing PEDs will not be very good. Essentially, you need to have years and years of that consistent training, eating, sleeping, recovering under your belt before PEDs should even be thought about. Okay, so that's my sort of advice on that one. And I know Kelly would message during this podcast, is there rubber crumb in them?
That's what I laughed
She's
about.
mad. I just posted a video on my Instagram of me doing a flex in my underwear, and she obviously had to comment about the rubber crumb. Because there probably was rubber crumb in that bloody pair of underwear.
I wouldn't even be surprised.
Who was your last Instagram search?
Oh, let's have a look. Forest Green Rovers Football Club. Shock, it's football. If I take away football, it was Liver King. Because I want to see how much
Oh, that's interesting. Mine was Sups Gym. Of course it was.
Alright, take away that.
How'd you do that?
There's an X right next to it.
Mine was slap fighting.
Also, that is amazing.
Slap fighting is so underrated. Yeah, my last like 5 were Sup Gym, slap fighting, Dan Bastic, up the Dan Bastic. I don't know why I went on Dan's page. Probably Romana.
Stalking.
Yeah,
Mine was Forest Green Rovers, Brentford, Liver King, 2 Bros, and then Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ah, yeah, Dan Bastic, IFBB Pro Ashley Jones, Tom, Evolution Training.
There we go.
Yeah, that's about how exciting my IG gets. What was the other question? You're cute.
Oh, little button nose.
Fucking nose. But yeah, that's all the questions that we have time for today. That's all the questions that we actually had.
Amazing.
Some good, some not so good.
Some were very boring.
Some were boring.
Like, you're cute.
I did tell them to give me spicy questions, but I don't really think they were spicy.
No.
I think Kelly got probably the spiciest about the rubber crumb.
Rubber crumb.
She loves rubber crumb.
I'll give her a rubber crumb.
Just send her an envelope of rubber crumb.
I've got some in my football bag. She can have some.
We'll send that to her. She'll love
like a palm full.
Yeah. Then she could think of us.
Rubber crumb.
Crubber rum.
Whee!
Yay. Right, anyway, that's the end of this podcast. I'm sure you've had enough of our voices. We're going to be trying to do these a little bit more regularly because we are just slacking in the podcast style content.
Can I just say, this is on you. I've said a couple of times, can we do this bikini thingy? And you're like, yeah.
She doesn't even know the name of the podcast.
Yeah, we'll do it this day. Yeah, we'll do it that day. And like, just forget about it.
I'm a busy lady.
You're busy.
Oh, yes. God. Being badass. Anyway, so this will go up when it's ready, because obviously there's no point saying when it will go up. Probably Tuesday. What day are we on now? Saturday?
Saturday.
It'll go up on Tuesday. Because Romana the Banana is away doing amazing things. She's saving people's lives. So this will go up in place of WPD next week. And then, yeah, we'll just get these more regularly. If there's a subject or something you want to cover, then let us know. Just remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment if you want to have a specific thing spoken about on this podcast. I'm looking at getting a few guests onto this one as well, more based around female health. Again, I'm in talks with a few ladies about that, but that'll come in the future. But thank you for your continued support. We'll just continue trying to raise awareness for this amazing category of WPD because it deserves to be loved.
I'm just along for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. Leets is just my hype lady. Woo! Woo! Have a great evening, guys, and we'll catch up later.
Peace out.
Yo!